Hello there. How are you? Trust you are doing well. Welcome once again to Beflex. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thank you if you have already subscribed. Please like the video and share. Our topic for discussion today is living for Christ. You know, in Philippians 1:21, there is a simple text there that reads, "For to me, to live is Christ, and to die is gain." It's pretty simple when you read it, but it's not so simple for us to live it. Well, today we are all going to discuss how we can live our life as Christ, and so that when we die, it will be a gain for us. Now, living a life as Christ requires that we have time for Christ. And so it requires service to mankind and to God. It requires love. It requires integrity. It requires honesty. It requires respect. It requires peace. It requires generosity. It requires that we give. It requires kindness. It requires that we respect each other, treat each other right, just be supportive of each other, and the list goes on. So let me tell you a story and why I chose this topic. Several years ago, I worked in an agency, and while I was there, I came across a beautiful woman. She's late now. This woman was a widow, and she had 3 beautiful kids that she was raising on her own. Now, in position, she was ahead of me. One thing though that I found so amazing about her was that this woman, though her job was very demanding because of her level of position in the work, she had so much time in doing God's work. This woman would come to work, leave work, and go straight to church. She was either in the choir practice, Bible studies, being on a mission to visit someone, or she was teaching the young ones in church. She also went on mission trips overseas. She did so much because she had so much love and passion for Christ. She was living like Christ. Now, she was also very giving, very patient, very loving, and that was what drew me to her. She had all these traits, and I admired her from a distance. And so, at some point, I had the courage to approach her, and we became friends. And my intuition was on point, it was right. So we became good friends. So I asked her one day, I said, "How do you do all these things?" And she told me that she just does it because it gives her so much joy. And I admired her, and I said, "Oh, I want to be in this position." Now, that time, I'm talking about around 2007 and 2008. Around this time, I knew God, but I wasn't that close to God as she was. So I wanted to be where she was. And so we connected. And then we found out that we'd be encouraging each other with scriptures, and we'd be praying together sometimes in our offices and holding hands and talking. We were doing a lot of things together because we had some things in common. We were both single mothers. We were both raising 3 kids. The only thing was that the father of my children was still alive, whereas hers was deceased. And instantly, like I said, we bonded. Now, there were times that she would just call me out of the blue and say, "Hey girl, what are you doing? Are you busy? I'm on my way to lunch. Come on, let's go." So we'll go. And as we walked, we just talked about Christ and how we're going to be there for each other, how we're going to be each other's support, and be able to be open and talk to each other, like tell it when one is going wrong, so we can be able to just say it as it is. We agreed on doing that, and it was really good. Now, time happened that I had to leave that agency and move on to another agency. So I parted ways with her only through the agency, but we still kept in touch. We connected via phone and all that. We would visit, we would meet up and eat. Now, this woman truly to me was living as Christ, because she was so good in all that she did. Now, do you know what she did one day that really surprised me? Out of the blue, I was sitting there, and I'm telling you, I was thinking how I was going to get money to buy food and do some things, because I wasn't making much. And suddenly my phone rings. I picked it up and it was her. And she said, "Hey girl, what are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing much. I'm just thinking about how the day is going to go." She said, "Send me your address now." And I'm like, "What do you need it for?" She said, "Are you going to send it to me before I change my mind?" I said, "Oh, okay, I'll send it to you." Do you know that she got my address and sent me money? She sent me $750, and this was in 2008, around 2007, 2008, $700. So I remember when I got the money, I called her back. I said, What did you just do?" She said, "I don't know, but I had the feeling that I should send you some money." I said, "Girl, why would you do that? We're both single mothers raising kids." And you know, she was like, "I know, but I make more money than you do." And I said, "It doesn't matter, but at least the father of my kids is alive. Yours isn't." And you know, we just laughed over it and we prayed about it, and I was grateful. Unfortunately, she's passed on, and I know that she lived as Christ. And so in my heart, I have no doubt that her death is gain. And I actually went to visit her gravesite because she died and was buried without me knowing about it. Apparently she had been sick and was in the hospital, and she couldn't tell me because she knew that I would be broken, and she thought, you know, I had kids. You see how she is. She knew that I was going through a lot, so she didn't want to bother me with her illness. And so when I found out it was late and she had died and she was buried, so I had to go visit her, talk to her, so that my heart would be at peace. And so I move on with my story. Then I found myself in another agency where I met this lady. Unlike the first lady, the previous friend that I met, this lady that I met, who also became my friend, didn't want to hear about anything God or Christ. And so every time I approached her and I brought the topic of God or Christ, she had a nice way to push it away. And I had to respect her. I can't force my beliefs and my religion on her. But always in my heart and within my mind, I was praying that God, let her find you and accept you and get to know you. But you know, in her presence, she didn't want me to talk about God. But I'm one person that when I have to say tomorrow, because I do not have the power to make tomorrow happen, I always say God willing tomorrow, or God willing I will see you, or by the grace of God. So these things I said, and she knew it, and she was okay with that. But she just didn't want me getting into a discussion or conversation with God about her. And I prayed for her that, you know, hopefully one day that the Holy Spirit will touch her, that she will be able to accept Christ. Now, again, the sad ending, she also died, and I didn't know about it. And I had a call that she also passed on. She was sick after a short illness, and she passed. And when I heard she passed, I said, oh my gosh, I prayed that while I left that agency, this woman, my friend, also had the opportunity or was able to accept you before she passed on. I can't tell, I can never know, but I hope she did. Now, from these two ladies, I learned something. You know, it was a blessing to have met these two beautiful ladies who are now both deceased. But what I learned from both ladies is that when you live your life truly for Christ, your death is a gain. Why do I say this? Because my first friend still has an impact in my life. I admire her so much, that I learned so much from her, that even in her death, I'm still in contact with her mother. There's so much that she taught me, you know, her selflessness, her giving spirit, her serviceable spirit, her calmness, everything about her was just so amazing. And so I learned these things from her, and I was blessed to have met her and to have befriended her. I was also blessed to have met the other lady, and I also learned something from her, that what I learned from her is that tomorrow does not belong to any of us. And so when you get the opportunity, or when someone offers you the opportunity to hear about Christ, just listen, take a moment, and just allow the Holy Spirit to work through you, because you never know when your time will come and when you'll be called into eternity. And so with these two friends, I was blessed, and I learned this from both of them. And I am glad that I am where I am right now, because they both, in a way, taught me something. So I pray that this will also teach you something, to know that we do not own tomorrow. Tomorrow belongs to none of us. And so let us focus our mind, and let us learn to live as Christ. Let us be honest with each other, love each other, be giving. Let us be selfless. Let us respect each other. Let us learn to live in peace. Let us learn to forgive each other. Let us learn to do the things of God, love Him, and be there for Him. Let us have a heart that's clean, praying for each other, supporting each other, thinking well of each other. All the good things that Christ did, let us all emulate Christ's character and live as Christ, so that when we are called into eternity, it will be a gain for us. I hope this message blesses you. Until I come back again, always remember that there is a blessing in every experience in this life. Whether it's good or bad, all you need to do is look for the blessing in it and just grab it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Bye.